Alright guys, I've got a challenge on the board from a player rated 917 and they've started with d4. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We are going to play King's Indian Defence. Okay, that's attacking that. It's not an issue. Got d6 at some point. Okay, develop the bishops, carry on with the plan. There's no immediate threat. 20 minutes on the clock. Alright. No reason not to castle. Be nice to fianchetto this bishop as well. Don't yet know which way white's going to castle. Okay, so again, slightly slow there. I don't have to worry about the e-pawn coming through yet. I'm going to prepare this fianchetto. Then maybe d6, I might put my knight on d7. Our opponent is from Namibia. Alright, so this seems to be preparing to castle. The bishop's not really threatening much looking at that mini pyramid there. So I'm going to proceed with my plan. Zero mercy in this game. That's the idea. So if tactics present themselves, I will consider them. And if they are evil enough, I will execute them. Okay, now I need to play d6. So white's actually wasted a tempo by moving the e-pawn twice here. Okay. Now, issues of e5, got 1, 2, 3 attackers. And only one defender currently. That pawn itself, I'm attacking twice, it's defended twice, so no reason to capture. Could play my queen there. See, if I move my knight here to d7, it's kind of hampering my queen to a degree. Opponent's playing fairly solid so far. I'm expecting this rook to come across. It's defended once by the knight. Is there any point in this? Well, what if then d5? I'm going to put my knight here for want of a better idea. Could always push c5. Maybe swap off, get my queen onto the c file, but then it lines it up with that bishop. Need to think about pawn breaks maybe now. I might centralise my rook. I think the c5 pawn break looks okay. c5, e5, d5. This pawn's defended twice. If I put my rook here and then e5, I've got 1, 2, 3 defenders. 1, 2, 3 attackers as things stand. So if I move, takes, we are even. but we're opening up the middle of the board. But rook there first is the only way it makes sense. Or c5. Okay, so they've pushed e5. So that pawn has now had 3 moves invested in it. Now if takes and pawn takes, I have to move my knight. That square is actually safe. Also opened up a line for my bishop with that knight there. Takes, takes, knight here. Or simply knight there now. Takes, takes. It's okay. If knight there now pushes, I can capture with the f pawn. Slightly opens up things for my rook. Okay, let's go forward with the knight. Attack this bishop. Takes, I recapture with the c pawn. And I've got a slightly stronger pawn centre. 1, 2, 3 attackers on this pawn. 1, 2, 3 defenders. This bishop moves back, it's still defending. Okay, bishop's still defending. Alrighty. So what's changed? Got knight here, hit this bishop. It's not really an attack, is it? Could push e6. Takes, takes. Fairly comfortable. Let's have a look at that. Stops the advance of the e-pawn. My opponent seems to love moving his e-pawn. But then if takes, takes, this pawn's actually undefended because where my knight is there. Okay, let's centralise the rook. Could then swing my knight round here if I want to. If pushes, I've got takes. Okay. One safe square. Not safe, not safe, not safe. Looks like we're going there then. This knight's defended twice, which vexes me. And by the pawn. I want it to be defended only by the pawn. Okay, that's a bishop face-off now. What's the plan? If I take knight takes, yeah, kind of improves that knight, but simplifies matters. Can't really push. I could push c6. I kind of like my bishop on there. This pawn's been slightly undefended. I suppose I've got there pawn takes, like bishop takes. I think that might be better actually. Pawn takes I can recapture with the knight or the bishop. Maybe the knight's happier centralised. The bishop's still strong in the corner. Knight happy there. I can back it up with 1 or 2 pawns if I need. I think e6 looks good because it frees up this diagonal for my queen, although the queen doesn't have any prospects right now. I'm currently in the minority in central pawns. Three defenders. One defender, which is the knight. Undefended there. About f5 even. So if pawn takes en passant, I can recapture. Or even recapture the bishop. I quite like to open up that file. Okay. Huh. Okay, so that means the bishop's attacking that. It's defended twice. If I move my knight to here, pawn takes, king takes, and I'm hitting this bishop then. The knight's defended. Don't know about pawn takes there. I can bring my rook back over. It's actually a free pawn, isn't it? How's that look? Looks okay. So I've got doubled isolated pawns on the e file. I can improve that knight. I can move my rook back across to f1. Pretty solid play so far from white. Knight g5. Okay, so this pawn is undefended. Yeah. I can defend with a knight there. That seems to be my only option. Or push. Two attackers, two defenders. So if push, white's got knight there, hitting bishop and queen. Okay, I'm going to bring the knight back round just to defend that. Bishop takes is better. It's defended twice. That's now undefended, and so is that. So that would not be a bad steal at this point in time. Okay. Right, that's defended twice, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the pawn. Actually up 2 pawns at this point. Undefended here, also attacks the rook. It's a fairly complex situation. Got 2 attackers on here, and currently 2 defenders. So I'm thinking rook c8 seems sensible. Because white can take out one of my defenders, you see, and then the pawn is vulnerable. It's called removing the defender. 2 defenders of the pawn, 2 attackers. Take out one of the defenders, the pawn is yours. But then it does improve my bishop. Knight's actually pinned as well because his bishop is undefended. Maybe c6. c6 resolves the problem of my undefended or underdefended pawn, or potentially undefended pawn. It also blocks in this guy. Well, you're playing well so far, I have to say. Okay, quiet move. So it's defended the pawn, yeah. Defended the pawn. The knight is very well protected. Pawn, queen, and bishop. So, am I worried about this? Should I just bring my rook across? That's what I'm inclined to do. Rook c8. I mean, my queen's now very short of squares. It's got me kind of pinned up against the ropes a bit here. Bishop takes as well. I've got pawn takes, undouble. That could be stronger. So in a situation where you are short of space and your opponent has lots of space, so my opponent here has got quite a lot of forward pieces in my face. what you want to be thinking about is trades, simplification. So now I'm inclined to play bishop f6, just solidify things. This knight's very well defended, 1, 2, 3. Not too concerned about that. So if I move the bishop, there's going to be 2 attackers on it, that's okay. Could put my bishop here, but then there's b4, which I can just grab then, I suppose. I like the fact that the bishop's on the diagonal with a king. Just drop that there. 12 minutes each. My opponent's lacking in pawns. C, D, E pawns have all gone. But then I've got these double isolated ones in the middle. So it's pretty balanced so far. I don't think I'm in a great position. They're doing a good job of bringing multiple pieces into the attack and coordinating them well. Front door's open, which is why you can hear the cockle chorus. Pawn's still pinned. So I'd love to capture that bishop. Could hit the knight. It undefends this pawn, but then yeah, I suppose bishop takes, and then I've got a counter-attack against the rook, which can't move. Oh no, then I can capture. So I've got that covered. But still, I'm loath to move those pawns from around the king right now. This bishop at least is looking down the wrong side of the field. My opponent's on under 11 minutes now, so nearly halfway gone. Bishop there, and exchanging I'm not worried about, can recapture with the e-pawn. Ooh, they just keep flying in, don't they? What's your idea? Bishop there. Hit the knight. What are you thinking? Can't go there, I'll take you. I want to go there. Is that your plan? There and hit my queen. You hit my queen there, I've got that safe. It's my only safe square, really. If I go here, knight there, queen has to go there. There, queen d7. Do I just leave? There's no real reason to move the bishop. Or is there? Let's do it. Really aggressive play. Yes. Oh! Wrong knight. I missed it. I missed it. Wow. Okay, I'm going to counterattack your queen. You take my queen, I take yours, mate. Otherwise, I might grab this bishop and at least get myself 2 minor pieces for a queen. This is super aggressive stuff. Oh, how did I miss that? Didn't have to be that knight. That knight's guarding that square, and I've gone and cut off this one. Effectively trapping my own piece, and I should have seen that one coming in. Okay, queen's gone to there. Now, attack the queen again is a possibility. Then queen can take my knight. So what I want to do is I want to create an escape square somehow. Okay. So how about go there. Queen takes knight. But if I'm going to be down in material, I don't want to be swapping off just yet. I take that. Knight still takes queen, rook takes. Knight takes bishop. It's a free bishop. He's going to take my queen. Probably recapture with this rook. Yeah, queen can't take my knight. Okay, so I'm slightly down in material. That was just a blunder, mate. It was protected. The knight was protected. Oh dear. That's such good play as well. Such good play so far. And now I'm quite a way up in material too. So I've got definitely one piece here that's at my mercy. The knight can't check me, so if I want I can grab either the knight or the bishop if the knight moves. That's a terrible mistake. And he only thought for a few seconds as well. He's been thinking really, really, really well, really hard. And then that was a rash move. And we always just need to watch out for those rash moves. You get overexcited. I've just won my opponent's queen, right? Just won my opponent's queen, hooray! And then bang. You blunder your own queen straight away. Rush of blood to the head, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, so attacking the bishop. Now that's solid, right? And then I've still got the attack on the knight or the bishop. Or I can drop my bishop all the way back into the pocket there. Then this pawn's kind of under defended. Okay, let's do this. Might expect knight here. In which case rook e8. It's actually a fork as well. .606 in blitz and 917 in rapid, huh? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, okay. And now you can grab a pawn and hit my other rook, but then you're going to find your knight skewered here with a pawn behind it. So you might go there and attack the bishop, but that doesn't bother me because it allows me to undouble if you capture there. There's no defending the knight. Knight has to move. So knight's going to go here, and I grab a pawn. Yeah, we're attacking the bishop. Okay, let's grab the pawn. Hang on. Hang on. Attacking the bishop. We're also attacking that pawn, maybe with ideas of a fork on the rooks. Now, if I capture that bishop there, yeah, you're going to fork my rooks. I'm 4 points in front right now. So is your idea trade bishops and then fork, yeah? Now, how about rook e to c8? Think. Rook e to c8. Knight captures there, bishop takes. I've got two attackers. Rook to c8. Bishop takes, pawn takes. We're okay. I think we're okay. Now I would like to trade off bishops at the earliest opportunity. Okay, there we go. I need to engage this horsey into the action. Kick at the knight. Do we want to kick at the knight? Yeah, why not? You go there, I'll kick you again, you take my bishop, I undouble my pawns, and life is good. So I'm 2 minor pieces up. No, I'm not 1 minor piece up. Okay, so I'll kick you again. I do drop a pawn in this case, but so we've got 2 on 2 on this side, pawns wise. We've got 4 on 3 currently. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I do drop a pawn. Actually, if he takes the bishop, I could recapture with a G pawn. Oh, but then this guy's defended by the knight. Yeah, so if takes, G takes, and I think we're okay. At least I've saved the pawn. Your pawn lives matter, you know, in the end game. It's what one pawn can make all the difference between winning or losing, so there's absolutely no reason just to start getting blasé and start giving pawns away for no reason at all. So now I want to think about centralising my king, and I need to consider the defence of all of these little guys, these little knobbly guys here, because that's how I'm going to win, if I'm going to win. My opponent's under 6 minutes now. So what I like about like king here is it's king's guarding all 3 of these pawns, okay? Then I've got a rook to guard these, I've got a rook to guard that, and I've got a spare knight. So I've got a spare piece once all my pawns are protected. Oh, that's interesting. Don't know the point of that. Alright, I'm going to move my king straight in there. It's 4:30. I'm going to come in here, harass the rook. Okay. I've got knight here, I've got knight here. I think knight here looks better because it's defending all 2 of those pawns and it's hitting the rook as well. Wow, that queen trap was something else, wasn't it? 4.5 minutes. Ideas of rook c6, maybe rook d6. Right, so what's the plan now? I'm quite liking lifting the rook, get it onto the open file. It's the only open file on the board, I want to control it. The knight has ideas, knight can come around here as well. Manoeuvre itself around there. It's down to 4 minutes. So it may not come down to a rush for the line at this rate. Very impressed though about how well my opponent is using his time. Okay, I'm just going to block that because if takes, all good for me. Leaves him with 1 rook. He can do a lot less damage with 1 rook than he can with 2. Takes. Okay, now king e7 is going to protect. Then all these pawns are going to be protected. Alright. Okay. I think I need to improve the knight now, so I'm going to bring the knight round to here, or even here, that might be good. See there, e4, defended by a pawn. That would come with check and attack on the pawn. If he was to decide to put his rook there or anywhere else ridiculous, then he could get himself forked. And he likes forks. Knight there, also rook g8. Double attacks that pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 5, but doubled. 4.5. Okay. King and the rook are on opposite different coloured squares, so there's not much scope there. Do I need to worry about pawns coming down? I can capture either of them if they do. So let's put the knight there. Now I want to play snappily here. Okay. Okay, now I have a check with a fork on the loose pawn. Let's grab the pawn. I'm going to come back here. Another safe square. This pawn is also hanging now. Okay, I'd love to get my knight there, but first let's grab the pawn. Seems safe. Improve the knight. Two minutes 20. Well, that's not really an attack, is it? Move my rook up. I want to move that pawn up. And maybe ideas about getting a double attack on that pawn here. Pawn's pinned, cannot move. Rook can't defend. So I think that pawn's now at my mercy. And I also like the fact that I can... Oh! Forgot to move my king across to defend that. Anyway. I'll throw a check in. Okay, he's got this, and I've got that, so should I defend the pawn with a rook? Okay, now king there, if he plays rook to here, knight can defend. Under 2 minutes on the clock. Hanging pawn. Rook, knight can capture and defend the pawn. Hooray. Okay, so I've got two attackers on there. Ah, comes a check. Curse you. Okay, you want to get your king close up right in the face of a rook, obviously on a diagonal. Now the rook has to move. Could go there, or just push up. And the clock's against him now. That defends the pawn. And the rook's kind of trapped itself a little bit, eh? Has to go here. I can push pawns. Okay. Start pushing pawns with intent. Let's check. And defends that. Let's move in and defend. He could pin. Oh! Rooks are facing off now. When did that happen? Oh, with that. Okay, we could have traded rooks then. Okay. So, king has to come over towards that pawn now. Here, defends both pawns. And now I'm just going to move up with my king. Create a safe passage for this pawn. You'll pre-move all of that because there's no way he can come and touch me. Okay. Queen there. Operation don't stalemate the bugger. Okay, and check here. And check there. Can we get a checkmate? Can I get hallelujah? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 15 seconds is all I had to do. I got a stalemate. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Did not think about that. I mean, I had check here. Oh dear, wonderful stuff. Okay, well, thank you for that, DVDM. Lots and lots of fun.